Morning and welcome to another daily training tidbit here on the CVC Basecamp. It's our e-learning platform. Jerry Eisenhower with you again today. And today the word is finesse. Finesse. And where does finesse come into play in your daily work habits? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. But first of all, we'll give you a little bit of backstory here going into this, okay? Some years ago, in a previous life, I was in the printing business. Don't know if you know that or not, but I was an offset pressman. And most of the printing equipment in that day was manufactured in Germany. And it was brought to America, imported in, set up at printing plants across America. But most of the mechanics that were hired by the factories were actually German. So they came to work on the printing presses when they broke down. And as we went through this, one day on the printing press that I was working on, the German mechanic said, "Will you hand me that American screwdriver out of my toolbox over there?" And I'd heard about all kinds of screwdrivers in my life, straight screwdrivers, Phillips heads, others. I had never heard of an American screwdriver. So I told the guy, I said, I don't exactly know what to get you because I don't know what American screwdriver is. And he walked over to the toolbox and he picked up a hammer. And he said, "This is an American screwdriver." I said, "Now, how do you get that?" He said, "Because that's how Americans think they got to work on everything. And that's why we got to come fix it all the time, because Americans think they can fix anything with a hammer. So we call it an American screwdriver." Food for thought there. But then as I thought about the word finesse, one of the things I common here is from employees, employers, business owners, that someone has tore up another piece of equipment. It could be a power tool. It could be a chim scan being sent back to the factory to be repaired, upgraded, whatever. In fact, I talked to Tom Urban in preparation. I said, "Tom, how often do you get a chim scan that's sent back because it's simply abused?" And he kind of laughed, and that Tom laughed and said, "Really pretty often." I said, "Well, send me a photo." Well, Tom hasn't sent me the photo yet. So someone watching this, guess what? Your camera that may be at GymScan right now ain't going to be in this presentation. But if you got one out there, maybe you need to think about this. Was it damaged because you didn't use finesse? You see, as you look around, I go into shops, I find piles of power tools that are in really bad shape. They're dirty, they're nasty, they're not maintained, the cords are cut, you name it, the list of problems goes on and on and on. And this extends to all kind of equipment. I see broke backs, I see broke wheels on backs, you name it. And extension cords. Let me ask you a question. Do you identify with the guy on the left? Or is the guy on the right more the way you identify? Have you got a pile of extension cords laying in your truck right now that are just kind of piled up that next time you got to use them, you got to untangle those cords and maybe bungee straps, and the list goes on. In other words, just how organized is your work vehicle? See, that's your rolling office. And as we go further, which one of those trucks do you identify with? Is it the one on the left or the one on the right? One of the things that I see is I get to travel around. Maybe I've even been to your location and I've looked at your work trucks before in the morning. And so often I see very expensive backs and they were just slung in there and the wheels are all wobbly and they jerk them out of the back of the truck and just abuse that equipment. So the question is, what do you identify with? How organized are you? What type of finesse do you use? Because this is what our customers see. They see these things. Hey, that truck on the left pulls up at your house and opens its back doors, getting ready to do a $5,000 to $10,000 repair. Who you want? The guy on the left or the guy on the right? Which one's going to have more value to you coming in? Which one's going to raise more doubts? Which one are you going to be having your eyes open for what he's going to tear up at my house next? This is all the thoughts that go through your customers. And also, finesse is needed to work on so many things. See, this is where a lot of people have a problem working on a gas appliance or a pellet burning appliance or other. They just don't have the skill of finesse to be able to do it. So you got to work on this, okay? You want to pride yourself on the ability to keep your work areas, your tooling, everything else intact. It's like this next picture. Undoubtedly, this guy works on some type of electrical equipment, electronic equipment. But hey, let's take that you got a computer that you want him to fix, or your tablet, or your precious smartphone. You gonna trust this guy? What there is telling you, this guy is neat, clean, organized, and is going to do the job effectively. It's just food for thought for you for today of how you can move to a higher level by simply developing that skill that we call finesse. You might just be surprised how it can make your tools last longer, how it's going to give a better image to your customer, and how it's going to build more enthused customers to write those great reviews about you, your company, the products, and the services that you offer. And with that, Jerry's out.